what's going on, everyone? I'm Brad, and on this very special edition of TrailRecon, I have been invited out here to Truck Haven in the middle of the desert in California for a very special event to support veterans. And I've got Warfighter Made, Rob here, and I've got Kevin from Trail Therapy Off-Road, and they are putting together a charity event to raise some funds. And I'm just going to turn it over to them guys to tell you what this is all about. Rob, tell us about Warfighter Made, man.
What's going on, my friends? My name's Rob. I'm from the nonprofit Warfighter Made, and Warfighter Made is a veteran-based nonprofit that provides recreational therapy to ill, injured, and combat wounded service members and veterans. But today's not about us. Today is about the launch of Trail Therapy Off-Road. So I'm going to introduce to you my friend, my partner, Kevin.
What's up? This is Kevin from Trail Therapy Off-Road. Been working with Rob for a little while. He's killing it in the UTV scene, building UTVs for catastrophically injured warfighters and taking them out for recreational therapy. And I hit up Rob and said, hey dude, let's get Jeeps and bigger off-roading toys out and provide the same mission for the veterans out there that are needing support and don't have UTVs but have Jeeps. And Rob said, hey, let's do it. So here we are, partnering up so we can better the lives of more veterans all at one time.
Right on. Well guys, thank you so much for inviting me out here. There are a lot of great sponsors out here today to support this event. And I know the group just left, man. They're going out doing some wheeling, which is a good fun. Then we're gonna have some fun out here on Truck Haven, get some obstacles.
At least 20 machines just took off.
Oh yeah, it was just
amazing.
A lot of turnout. It's great. Let me ask you guys, what can folks do out there that want to help support what you're doing? Where do they go?
If viewers are interested in finding out more about Warfighter Made, we're on the web at warfightermade.org, and of course all of our social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Just look for the logo.
Right on. Guys, this is a great event. I'm going to go around and talk to a bunch of vendors, show some of their products. We're going to take a look at some owners' rigs and just have a great time today, guys. I hope you enjoy the ride.
Bam!
So I love the Desert Rose Jeep. What brings you out here today?
It's former Army, and I wanted to come out and support the war fighters benefit that these guys are doing. I just think it's a good idea, and just support the veterans in general, and do the, whatever we can do to help them out.
Right on. Well, you have a great looking Jeep, and thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
And now I've got Josh from Off the Grid up here cooking up the chicken for the tacos, man. Hey brother, thanks for coming out today. Tell us a little bit about Off the Grid and why you're here today.
Yeah, man, this is the place that we love out in the desert in the wintertime, just supporting our friend Kevin with Trail Therapy. He hooked us up earlier on, and my business partner Darren and I, we have a heart for the armed services and just our veterans in general, and anything we can do to help and support the community, that's why we're here.
Hi, I'm Adam from TrailRecon. This is our product for 2-door and 4-door hardtops, able to hold 16 gallons total of Rotopax fuel or any other storage that they provide. And it's very durable, and we are here today at Trail Therapy Off-Road's Jeep event to support our veterans and to thank them for their service.
Having the event right next to Truck Haven training area allowed folks to test their rigs on some easy and some challenging obstacles. Truck Haven out in Ocotillo Wells is a man-made 30-acre 4x4 obstacle course with 22 different obstacles with rocks, logs, concrete tubes, ranging from easy to very difficult. It's a great controlled environment to really test your skills. If you're ever in the area, you should definitely check it out.
So guys, we have Jerry here from Tembo Tusk, man. Good to see you out here, brother. Tell us a little bit about Tembo Tusk and why you're out here today.
Alrighty, thank you. Well, we're here to feed a lot of veterans and service people, and also introduce our Scottle to the masses that are here, and we kind of enjoy being here. I kind of grew up in the '60s when veterans weren't so respected, and so now's the time to come back and really pay our respects. So feel very, very good about that.
It's great to have you out here, man, and this is some good chow you got cooking over on the Scottle. So
Thank you.
You want some chicken on yours? Just a little bit?
Hello. Thank you. Gabe, I was checking out your Jeep, dude. It's awesome. Tell us a little bit about it and why you're here today.
Yeah, 2017 Rubicon. It's got a metal cloak, 2.5-inch lift, 35-inch tires, some ATX bead locks, rock hard 4x4 cage, And the reason I'm here is to support just the veterans.
Okay, so hi everybody, I'm Daniel. I'll keep this nice and quick. Just maybe a little refresher for winching, and I'll show you what this thing does too. I've seen a lot of winches out here on a lot of the different rigs. How many of you guys have actually had a good chance to use one? Good. It's about what I expected. It's usually 50-50. A lot of guys will run them for a long time and they don't use it, or you'll run it for a while and you haven't used it in a long time, you might forget. So just a couple things. So let me just explain what this is first real quick. So this is the product that my business partner and myself created. It's called Deadman. It's basically a multi-purpose winch anchor point. So basically no matter where you are, you can create a winch point for your vehicle. So we started out actually out here just trying to figure out, well, if we were stuck out here, we're by ourselves. Clearly, I might be a little bit different from some of you guys that drive Jeeps, driving a Tacoma.
So you get stuck more often, that's what he's trying to refer to.
That's what I wanted Kevin to let you know about. Right, exactly. We wanted to have a good ground anchor, but not one that cost $600 and took up a lot of space in the vehicle. So we ended up coming up with this, and it's pretty simple. So yeah, you're still gonna dig. Most of the time when you get stuck in some sort of sand, you're gonna dig anyway. But you could bury this thing, and then you hook up the two front lines here. These guys, right? So these two guys would end up going to your winch, and the two back ones come right behind and hook up behind in series. And what happens is we end up creating a shear force across the ground, so this front strap here ends up becoming a hook inside the ground. So it's not a parachute, which is actually where we started when we were trying to build this thing, was this idea we could just drag something through the ground, but it's actually creating a hook in the ground, a lot like, you know, the metal anchors do. But this one's, you know, weighs about 7 pounds. It folds up real small. I keep it in some of the boxes up top there. And when we did our side-by-side testing, actually we did a lot of the testing over in Superstition. This is basically twice as strong as the old spare tire method, if anybody's aware of that. A lot of people ask us, well, how's this different from that? This, we actually put it in the ground, put it right by side by side, and we put a load cell on it. We got basically twice as much weight out of this versus the spare tire. And a lot of us are out here today are running really big 33, 35s, or even 37s. So the idea of getting one of those off of the mount, getting it down, digging that big old hole, I like this a lot better. So this is basically an insurance policy for us, but it also does a number of other things. So, and this is where I'll kind of give you a refresher. So there's a bunch of the material that I drive with when I'm out on the trail. I don't know how many of you guys have switched over to the soft shackles.
Must have.
I like these a lot more than the metal shackles, right? And the reason for that is basically they're lighter, they're far more versatile. We've actually used these to wrap around different things. We've daisy chained them together to get a little more length out of them. And they don't create basically a big projectile if something does break. You can use either one. They're both basically the same thing. I think this is just a lot safer. So the other thing we often run around with, I don't know how many people actually carry one of these. I actually have 2 of them. If you've been around for a while, you've probably got 1 or 2 of them. This is awesome. This has allowed me to change the direction of a pull. So I've had cases where my anchor point was up way off to the side, but I needed to go in this direction. Or I had one case where something was broken on the truck and we needed to get things turned around. I had to use 2 of them. And so this is called a snatch block or a pulley, allows me to change the direction of a pull, or it allows me to double or create multiples of strength out of my winch. It basically becomes another gear. So in cases where, you know, the truck might be really stuck and I lay down, create an anchor out on this end, I can put this right in there, bring the line right back to the truck, and my winch has basically got a helping hand, okay? So it's nice to have. I'm using synthetic line. I know it's really popular right now. Some folks are still running metal line. I think it's a lot safer than a metal line. So if you've ever seen one of these things snap, just go to YouTube and look it up. It's actually pretty interesting to watch. It just drops, right? So when this thing is under pressure, under stress, and it breaks, all that energy just kind of goes straight down. It's actually a kinetic type rope. So whereas the metal would actually store the energy and it becomes a big rubber band. So I like to use these. It's a lot easier to work with regardless. So at the other end here, I've got the Factor 55 Flat Link E, all right? So this is closed. Notice there's no hook on it. They make one that actually has a hook. It's pretty cool. They do a good job with it, but they advocate what they call closed system winching. So there's less opportunity for something to snap or for something to be hooked up incorrectly, something to, you know, twist and pop out of the hook opening. So I like using this. It's a good piece of material and it fits really well in the truck. I'm just gonna give you just a quick demo. The way I'm gonna use the Deadman here is, so I'm gonna use it as a bridle, and I'll explain why that might be interesting.
You need a helping hand down there?
No, I'm good, I'm good. So when you see the back side of this is basically two 15-foot straps. Okay, this is also made in the US. Actually, Blue Ridge Overland, if you're familiar with Blue Ridge, out in Virginia, they actually manufacture this for us. But this is made out of Class 7 industrial strength webbing, so it's basically a 20,000 pound strap. I've got two of them that are 15 feet long, so I can use that as a winch line extension. I can use it, as I described, in the ground. We like to also wrap this thing around rocks.
Tree saver.
Tree saver, exactly. But also around rocks, it's really easy just to throw this around a rock, and it's gonna be basically hugging the rock. So it's not gonna come over the top or go underneath of it. We've actually been able to use it around just a loose rock in the trail, pretty big one, and certainly none that were higher than we were on the trail. But just having a big heavy rock to pull against, even though it's moving a little bit, it was enough to get the truck moving forward as well, right? So that just gives us an opportunity to work with something that otherwise might be really hard to attach to with just a single strap. The last thing is just using it as a bridle. The reason you might want to use a bridle is in a case where you're not working with a deuce and a half or a massive truck like this. You know, each of these anchor points here has a certain limit to it, right? So if I want to balance the load between multiple anchor points, because I've got a really stuck situation, or I've got a really heavy vehicle and a lighter vehicle, I can use a bridle. So I'm going to span the difference between the two of these by hooking up to both of them and then creating a winch in the center. So the way these guys work, they have a mouth or a neck. You slide it open like that. You pop that through. And it's good to pull it down like that, or you can go the other way, pull like that, so that you're creating a nice choke against the backside of that knot there. Okay, and I'll use this as an example for the other side just so I can point one thing out on this. So there's a couple different ways. I can put it through here like this, and I can attach the pin, or I can reverse it. It doesn't totally matter in this, it doesn't totally matter in this case. A couple things you don't want to do. You don't want to side load these. Pull this way and pull this way, okay? You can go to about a 45 if it's balanced, but beyond that, you don't want to use this. It's just not built to go that way. So if you can pull straight or max to a 45, that's good. The other thing is, always make sure you're screwing down. So you run that guy down in there, and get to the stop, and back off about a half turn. That keeps it from binding, okay? So they're basically the same thing, just two different ways of accomplishing the same thing. Okay, so it's a very, very long bridle in this case, but you know, every situation is different. It's nice having some options. So this is a nice closed system winching situation, right? I don't have anything that's open that might slip out, come undone, come unscrewed, except that one thing, but I think we're okay there, right? So just got everything nice and together. Most of the time, I'm not gonna be holding this, right? The person in the truck is gonna be holding the remote, and they'll be operating it, because that's the safest way to do it. Sometimes if you're on your own, if you're alone, you'll be on this end of it. And so you might have the truck in neutral, and you're working to pull the truck out. Anytime you're doing a winching operation, and in this case, we're not really gonna pull on anything really hard, so I'm not worried about it, but any bystanders, you'd want them to be like 1 to 1.5 times of the length of the rope away from the vehicle. In case something snapped, there's less chance that somebody's gonna get whipped with something. And of course, we're using these things, which is just gonna drop on the ground. If Aaron was actually running this thing, I would tell him to let line out by doing this. It's almost the idea of line coming off of a spool, or like this, which is bring it in, okay? So you get into working with hand signals with the driver as well. There you go. You guys get the idea, right? So we've got the only other thing that I could do, and there's a little debate on this, to be extra safe, this right here. Throw something over the line, okay? Better safe than sorry. So in this case, I can actually stuff a little bit of dirt or something in here to weight it down. But in the event that this pops, And in the event that someone's close enough and it doesn't just drop, and certainly if you're working with a metal line, having something over the line like a jacket, a blanket, another tow strap, a bag, anything that you can do just to give some weight there, so if it breaks, it wants to go down and not high, right? And then you could just winch yourself out. So in this case, I'd be balancing the load on the vehicle by both of these straps. So either one of these straps will only get half of whatever I'm putting on that. So on obviously a much smaller vehicle, I'm not putting a lot of stress on one particular frame rail. Okay? And that's about it, I think.
Hey, I'm Greg with Squatchbox. We're your off-road cooler and drinkware company, here to support veterans through Trail Therapy Off-Road and Warfighter Made, because those guys have given so much to us to give us the freedoms to do this sort of thing, and it's just a small token for us to give back to them and hopefully support them for many years to come.
Dude, I was checking out your Jeep, man. It is a very nice overland build. What brings you out here today?
The overland community, my good friends at Off the Grid, and the event here to support the vets.
Right on, man. Thanks for coming out.
It's a pleasure to be out here.
So you won Best of Show today, man. It's a beautiful rig. What do you got?
It's a 57 CJ6 Bob's CJ Scrambler, and came out here to be with Trail Therapy and give them some support, and looks like I'm going to try and get more active with them.
John Bird with Rubber Patch Store. We do rubber patches, morale patches, and rubber coasters. We're here supporting our troops in Trail Therapy Off-Road, supporting the veterans and active duty, having fun and off-roading here in Ocotillo.
Hey, it's great to see the Empire Jeep Club out here today, man. What brings you guys out?
Supporting our vets today, doing the fundraiser, and having a great time, showing the vets around the Jeep lifestyle, and having a good time.
Man, that is one heck of a built Jeep, man. Very nice build. What brings you out today?
Yeah, we came here to meet our friend, and we will be part of the Trail Therapy Off-Road, and we love this trip, and we want to join them again. So thanks.
What an amazing day, and I am so blessed to have been invited out here to support this. What a great cause. They raised a lot of money for their charity, and if you're interested in supporting Warfighter Made, man, I'm going to leave a link in the description, guys. Go help them out. They really could use it. Now, Marco from Overland X and Jerry from Tembo Tusk and I are going to go hit the trail, and we're actually going to spend the night out here in the desert. I'm really looking forward to it. I always love wheeling with Marco, so it should be a great time tonight. I really appreciate you watching this video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you're visiting the channel for the first time, man, hit that subscribe button. I'd love to have you as a member of the TrailRecon team. Thanks for watching.